let's continue. In her next paragraph, she says, quote, after having my world end at the conclusion of my long-term relationship, I'm not in any rush to get back. I still long for a male companion, but I also learned a lot from my last relationship. With my ex, I blindly fought for our relationship because I was under the false pretext that it was better to have a man. Even when red flags came up, I stayed until I completely lost myself and had no more to give. I had completely compromised my value and dealt with things I never want to again. I still believe in love, she says, but for now, I'm going to focus on just having fun with life and not let the dating process stress me. Why are you single? So, as far as this long-term relationship is concerned, she says she's not in a rush to get back in the dating market. Guys, we saw this on Amy Horton's article a while back about not being in a rush to get back into the dating scene after a bad breakup. Not in a rush to get back means I'm going to get under as many guys as I possibly can to get over my ex. You guys have all heard this axiom that women talk about all the time. Well, in order to get over him, you have to get under him. She gives it away. She gives her intentions away when she says, focus on just having fun with life. Guys, she is literally telling us she is going to sleep around. Anytime women use language like this, it means they're going to sleep around, guys. I need some me time. Translation, I'm going to sleep around. I need to take some time to heal. Translation, I'm going to sleep around. I think I'm going to have some fun for a little while. Translation, I am going to sleep around. So that was the first article that led to the fourth article, which we'll get to here in just a second. Let's take a look at the next article, and you will see the natural progression. Again, this represents the typical progression in terms of the dating art of the typical American female. So her next article is called Stop Being Nice to F-Boys. You guys can look at the screen. I'm not going to swear. I'm trying to keep this I'm going to keep this YouTube friendly. She says, quote, my best friend told me this the other day, and I had an epiphany. When I get with my friends, somehow we always end up talking about guys. Girls talk about guys all the time, guys. This is how it is. Despite the amount of guy-bashing posts I have, I really don't believe that all guys are trash. Just most of them, okay, a few. She continues. She says, quote, what is it in our DNA that makes us attracted to F-boys, especially when all the signs are there in the beginning? Sis, you can't run around with an SZA yelling, why you bother me when you know you don't want me, when you steadily text him back, even when he doesn't respond to you, but has time to snap about an unfulfilling lunch. How about we change up the script a bit and put more effort into the guy that has the qualities you desire from the beginning? Let's start with this DNA thing. What is it in our DNA that makes us aroused by players? Gentlemen, she is starting to realize that she can't fight biology. Right? She cannot fight the fact that she is attracted to the players, the F-boys, the bad boys. The problem here is no masculinity. Guys, the average American man is soft. They're effeminate, they're soft, they're non-confrontational, they don't know how to fight, they can't change a tire. They're useless. Men these days are useless. The average American man is useless. So when a player comes along, or an F-boy or a bad boy comes along, those men are displaying sort of a devil-may-care, balls to the wall, in-your-face, bold and confident attitude. And because this is rare in men relative to the number of men in the world, a woman's biological hard drive tells her that this is true masculinity, and it mostly is. Then she talks about changing up the script, right? She says, because the qualities you desire, and this is the reason why she's changing up the script. The reason for this is because the qualities you desire in men, Miss Cebu, they're not attractive yet. You're still in your party years. You'd like to be aroused by the good guys, but you are not. Mother Nature did this on purpose, guys. Mother Nature made females. Females are intended to mate. Their intention is to mate, reproduce with the most masculine specimens out there, right? They're not supposed to be aroused. Women are not supposed to, and a lot of guys blame this, hypergamy and women are this or that. No, women are not supposed to be aroused by a 401k. They're not supposed to be aroused by a stable job, a Toyota Camry, a level-headed male. They're supposed to be aroused by the bad boys. Her next paragraph, she says, I don't want to hear anything about how opposites attract, she says. Nah, fam, it don't work that way. Your positive goal-getter attitude should not attract a guy who doesn't have any respect for you. The thrill that comes with dating a bad boy usually ends with you at the bottom of a Moscato, insert your favorite drink, bottle, talking about how N-words ain't S-words. It's cool, though. I've been there before. The thrill that comes with dating a bad boy, she says. Again, the thrill. Guys, women want to feel something. Women date the bad boys because with bad boys, they're elated, they're depressed, they're happy, they're angry, they're sad, they're suicidal, they're joyful, and scared all at the same time. That roller coaster of emotion, that is addictive. Let's continue. She says, quote, I met a nice guy not too long ago. He was polite, texted during my normal hours, and could hold a decent conversation. Naturally, I made up a number of reasons why I couldn't pursue him, and I friend-zoned him. Big surprise there. As I spent time reflecting, I remembered a time when I met an F-boy who knew just what to say and when to say it to keep me on his line. He was a jerk, but I credited his bad behavior to having personality and swag. I really hope I'm not the only one who has experienced this. For some reason, I am more attracted at the task of turning a guy that isn't right for me into an upstanding Bay citizen, Jesus Christ, that word Bay, and having my Prince Charming from the beginning. My obsession with DIY projects is better spent on Pinterest and at Michael's because my heart can't take it anymore. I can literally have a nice guy who meets all of my superficial requirements and still look him over to entertain a dude that wouldn't spit on me if I was on fire. I met a nice guy, she says. At least she admits out loud that she's not aroused by him, right? Right? She can admit that to us, but to her friends, she made up reasons why she couldn't pursue him and ended up friend-zoning him. Most women, and again, listen, give credit to this woman. She is being completely transparent. She is keeping it 100. Most girls won't admit that they like bad boys over good guys. Most girls just won't admit that because it makes them look bad. Then she says, well, he acted like a jerk, but I attributed that to his personality and swag. This is why we call them jerk boys. This is why we call them bad boys. Then she asks, am I the only one who experienced this? No, sweetheart, you're not special. And then, of course, the upstanding Bay thing, right? She wants to civilize a man. Gentlemen, women naturally try to civilize you. This is the mission of every woman, is to civilize a bad boy, to tame him, right? To bridle him. They see it as a challenge. They don't really want to see you civilized because then you wouldn't be arousing anymore. They don't realize this. They like that you're a wild stallion who's untamable. And the thrill of trying to change the bad boy, that's a rush for women. The last paragraph says, as we move into the last 3 months of the year, I want to continue my personal growth, which excludes being nice to these F-boys that caused me to want to reclaim my time in the first place. Ladies, for real, stop being nice to these guys. I know it's hard because a lot of them are fine as hell. I mean, half of them are in the beard gang group. She just told you that beards are more attractive. Half of the time, you don't even know because they are often disguised as caring types. However, I have come to the conclusion that these fools keep trying me because I let them, so this is where it stops. I solemnly promise, she says, to be nice to the nice guys that shows me consistency and interest in more than physical things and change my attitude so I can attract the type of relationship I want. I am really going to stay true to this promise and not let it fall astray like these weight loss goals I set back in January and plan to make again come January 1st. I solemnly promise, she says. She knows she's not going to keep this promise, guys. She knows she's not going to keep this promise. She even acknowledged, hey, you know what? All of these weight loss, you guys can see that she's an overweight black woman. She even makes fun of herself. She says, I promise not to let these go astray like I keep letting these weight loss goals go astray. She knows she's not keeping this promise. Matter of fact, she probably hit DeMarcus with the 3 baby mamas who's hung like a horse, who looks like Omari Hardwick right after she finished this article. So stage 1 is why I'm single. That was the first article we looked at. Stage 2, she realized that she's attracted to players even though she thinks she shouldn't be. Okay, let's move along to the third article in this progression. And there you see Beyonce. She's got a gif of Beyonce. And the article says, quote, it's okay to be 27 and up with no kids. She says, quote, Beyonce is pregnant enough for all kidless females who are under constant societal pressure to have a child. Her twins are Her twins are for all of us. Then she says, disclaimer, if you do have kids, this isn't about you, so please don't force yourself to be offended by anything I say. Then she starts the article. She says, quote, I am fully aware that I am at the age where it is common for family, friends, and strangers to ask me if I have kids. I'm sure most 15-year-olds don't get this question. Once I made it to year 5 of my last relationship, we started having serious conversations about having children. How many we wanted, boy or girl, and all that jazz. Personally, I wanted twins or triplets so I could get it all done with one pregnancy, but I will accept whatever the Lord sends my way. Because the length of our relationship, I can't stand the way this woman writes. It's very hard to read what this woman writes. Because of the length of our relationship, I tolerated all the questions relating to marriage and kids, but I was still on the fence about it. Guys, this is her trying to reconcile and convince herself that she's still got time. Because she's over 27 and is still childless and unmarried. After all, Beyonce did it, right? If Beyonce can do it, so can she, right? This is the problem with black women. They look at the outliers and think that they're outliers too. I talked about this a couple of days ago with Colleen Thomas, who wants to compare Beyonce and Jay-Z's marriage. Like she says that, well, this is the new standard for American black women. No, it's not. Beyonce and Jay-Z are worth $1.5 billion. Their relationship is not going to be like yours. Beyonce had twins in her 30s. Why can't I? Well, number one, because you're not married. Number two, because she's worth almost $500 million and you're not. And number three, she's Beyonce and you're not. Ladies, you have nothing in common with Beyonce except for the fact that you are black and female. That is where the similarities end. Then she says she wants to get it all done with one pregnancy. She hopes that she can just have twins or triplets to get it all done with one pregnancy. And it's funny, we all think that this is tongue-in-cheek and we laugh at this, but this once again shows that women want all of the benefits with none of the costs. So you want 3 kids but only want one pregnancy? You guys see how women are like this with everything that they do? I want a 7-figure job without being qualified for it. I want a high-value man without having to be in good shape and feminine. Then right at the end, she says she is still on the fence about it. So she wants us to think that because she talked about it, she wanted to do it, right? But then right there at the end, she says, I was still on the fence about it. Guys, she didn't want to have kids. She never did. She talks about how her breakup rocked her world, but for all we know, she might have dumped him. A lot of girls claim to have been dumped to save face, and it is usually quite the opposite. All right, let's move to the next. Let's move to the next paragraph. She says, "Quote: She's talking about her past relationship. Quote: I put forth a lot in that relationship. I compromised. She cannot spell. Compromised with a D, Miss Cebu, and lost battles I knew I could win. So when everything came crashing down at year 7, I had a lot of soul searching. I had to do a lot of soul searching. I always planned to have kids before 30, and here I found myself 27 with 28 just a blink away with no man and no kids. But I don't feel bad about it. As females, whether you want to have a child or not, we have a biological clock looming over our heads from the moment we hit puberty. The societal pressures that come with that are oftentimes even more unbearable. Don't get me wrong, she says. I want children in the perfect family life that I grew up watching on TV, but I'm not so focused on that goal that I am willing to settle or rush into it. I also find myself at a place where I am open to other methods of having children if my biological clock runs out. Let's take this from the top.